right, here we go. All right, see my music degree right there? Cool. All right, so we're going to talk about the upgrading of the 5,1 to Ventura first, and show you how to do this. First off, with your Mac Pro, your main computer, make sure you back it up. Now, if you have empty slots inside your Mac Pro, by all means, hook up another drive and back up to that, because backing up over USB on a Mac Pro is like a 2-day thing, especially if you have a 2 terabyte or larger drive, right? It takes forever, right? If you hook up through your Thunderbolt cable or something like that, then you have to hook up the power part to the Thunderbolt, right? And on the card to run a drive off of it, unless you have a drive like I have some that have external power supplies, and that works too. But it's still going to be pretty slow in comparison to just putting another drive in the bay and backing up to it. All right, so it's up to you how you do it. Some people don't even bother. I've always made the choice to go ahead and back up. Usually I end up with extra drives that way anyway, because to this day, they've never crashed when I backed them up. Thank you, Jesus. But it worked. All right, so the 5,1, right? So the 5,1, it has 12 cores. You can actually put way more than 32 gigs of RAM in it if you want to. A lot more, like I think it'll go all the way up to 90 something. I can't remember, but you can really get a lot of RAM in them if you want to. I haven't had a need to have more than 32 gigs, so I haven't done that. My old one, my 3,1, I had maxed out and never used it. So, that's what's going on. So let's just look at a couple things really quick. I want to show you. I run everything through this mini view right here, so I can run my Windows computer and my Mac computer and be able to switch back and forth anytime I want to, and that's really helped. Then over here I have my USB for my Mac computer, and over here I have my USB for my PC, and I'm running one monitor. I have, of course, my awesome speakers that everybody needs, and then I'm running this little guy to bridge all my sound, but I really don't like it because it's powered and sometimes it creates some sound, but although you don't hear any weird noises now, so. And then of course my Paulo is right here. All right, so I'm running this on my good camera. It's been so long since I used this camera and sound and stuff that I decided to record all this on this. And I'm not using my lights like I ought to, so the lighting's off, but. All right, let's look at what's on the computer real quick, and then we'll just shut it down, okay? Let's do search, OpenCore. Oh, let's put OpenCore Ventura. That's better, right? OpenCore Legacy Patcher, Dortania. It looks like that's the one I used before. Okay. And then you can just go to GitHub and get it. You can look at all the information that's here, right? Currently, what's broken, what's not broken, dropped hardware, current status, download and build MacOs installers, building and installing OpenCore. If you go to GitHub, you should be able to just go right here, right, and download it. You just click on it. Get started. Oh, look, it took us right back here. Download and build MacOs installer right here. See it? Here we go. Oh, you have a choice here. You can get the OpenCore package uninstaller if you need it. You can get the patcher. You can just get the GUI. This is the one I used. The OpenCore Patcher GUI app zip. Okay? And then once you get that far, then you just unzip it and you end up with these, right? And I'm going to just click on OpenCore Patcher right here. Okay, so create MacOs installer is where you go first. Download MacOs installer. You'd click there, right? And you might be able to use existing installer if you have it, right? It has to be installed into the applications folder. Or you can hit download MacOs installer. And then it finds finding available software, right? And so here we got all the ones that you can use. I wanted Ventura, so that's the one I used and I downloaded, right? I could have went to Sonoma, but I chose Ventura because I have a thing about going to the very top because there's no help videos ever, right? So and then you download it, right? And once you download it, because I've already got it set up, I don't want to mess it all up, right? Then you run it and set up the USB, set it up on USB, right? And then you set it up on the USB, right? Choose your USB to be your setup drive, and you load it onto there, and then it'll come up directly after that and say, do you want me to put OpenCore EFI on the USB drive? You say yes. All right, so let's think about setting this up. All right, so first, you need to put, well, I'm not going to pull it out. I got a USB drive. It looks just like this. All right, plug it in, and I come up with this here. Let me switch here. See, I got an untitled drive there. So I'm going to go up here, go, utilities, disk utility, usually down here on the bottom. And there we are. We're going to see some different drives in here, right? Typically, if you've undone all the drives except for other ones, you might not know which one it is, right? So here we know this. I know this as external physical volume, EFAT, right? These ones here are internal drives, right? You see it says internal, external, right? So here we go. At this point, you select the top, not the bottom one, the top one, and then you reformat, erase right here, hit erase, and then you name it whatever, and then, okay, so you journal it, and use journaled, and then it creates it. And then once it creates it, it'll come up on your desktop. And once you got it up on the desktop, then you can go ahead and go to back to the open. Then when you open your OpenCore, so you can look at the old beta versions here. Every version, downloads anyways. It's going to take an hour. OpenCore Legacy Patcher. Right, finish the installer. Now you're going to have install macOS and Ventura. Select yes. And then here you're going to have a couple disks, right? You want to select the disk that you just formatted, right? Format USB, yes. And that will take a while. All right, then install then you get this sign, install OpenCore to disk. Yes. Click yes, and it will install to your USB. All right, so you click install to disk. All right, so now you've got the USB made, but we got some problems now. If you're like me, you have the Sapphire card. I showed you earlier what's in my computer, and I showed you the drive trays as well. You can go back in the video and look at that if you need to. But because of the Sapphire card, metal card, it doesn't show this boot screen. We have a problem. There's no way to see the boot screen, and you can't get to it by hitting the switches, right? Because you can't see anything. And believe me, I tried. So the workaround for that is simply to, after you shut off your 5.1 Mac Pro, slide all of the drives, disconnect them, right? Slide all those shuttles out a little bit so that there is no drives connected. Now you may have to clear the palm or whatever, you know. I didn't, but many people say, or maybe I did, I don't know. But many people might have to, or you might not have to. If it doesn't go anywhere when you do this, then you're going to have to clear that instant by hitting Control Alt P and R, and then or Command Alt P and R or whatever it is to clear that on the boot up. You can look at that in another video. There's some good videos about that, how to clear that. But what I did was I pulled out the shuttles, thanks to another YouTube video that I watched, and then turned the computer on with just the USB hooked up inside of it. Now here's where the patience really comes in, right? Because originally you'll probably still not see the bootloader, but you may. But I think that I wasn't able to see the bootloader until after I actually put OpenCore onto the SSD drive inside my computer. But it'll still boot. Have patience. It'll boot up. As you know, when you're dealing with 5.1 and you're booting from a USB, it takes a long time, right? I mean, it seems like an hour, but it does boot. And then once you get in there that far, right, and you boot all the way up, then close it down like you're supposed to using the Apple shutdown, and then slide the drive in that you want to put Ventura on, right? And then turn the computer back on, just that drive, right? None of the others, just that one. And turn the computer back on, and you have to wait again, right? And then it'll boot, and then this time you will be ready to go on. Now the whole reason I'm making this video is because I didn't find anybody else that done it the way that I done it. I did not want to lose my data, right? I didn't want to reformat my drive or install all of my music software. I didn't want to do any of that, right? I mean, most of it, you know, what a job that would take. You know, that'd be like a week of getting stuff in there, and that's just craziness, right? So what I did was I simply, when I rebooted and then I went to install Ventura on my hard drive, I didn't reformat. I just installed over what was there, and it worked, right? So it booted up, and I will show you the boot screen, what you see, in just a second, and we'll go from there. You just simply boot up, and then you install, and hey, now I want to talk about one other thing. Ventura has a super SIP, right? Its security is amazing, right? You can choose the security stuff from the configurator inside of OpenCore and then reconfigure, but usually for some reason that doesn't take a hold as well as it ought to. I usually have to boot. You have to boot in recovery mode and use the disk utility. I mean, not disk utility, but the terminal while you're in recovery mode, and disable SIP like you used to have to. But you still will not have access to the system library extensions folder to change anything. Those text files are going to be read-only. There's only one way that I found that you're probably going to be able to do that, and that is to boot off of a Linux disk, right, like an Ubuntu disk, something that luckily these older 5.1s have the drives in there that where you can still read CDs, and so you can boot off of one of those disks, and then booting into Linux or Ubuntu recovery, you will be able to change the stuff inside the systems library extensions folder. But once you do, you're going to have to rerun some kind of recovery thing so that all your permissions are right? So you'll have to fix all the permissions in there. But besides that, I don't recommend that because you're really messing with a lot of stuff, but I tell you how to do that because it took me a long time to figure it out. Anyway, so in the end, once I rebuilt, installed onto my hard drive, and then ran the after scripts, then I was able to pull the USB out, turn it off, pull the USB out, and it booted right away from using the OpenCore into Ventura. And I'll show you that right now. But let me just show you. If you want to see everything work like it's supposed to with the Apollo and everything, watch the next video in the series. And but just for real quick, we'll show you. See, here we got it. It's booted up totally. It took a while, I have to admit, to upgrade. You still need to upgrade the software, but I didn't lose any of my data. None of it. No data lost. Right, I was able to just upgrade from Mojave to Ventura without formatting my hard drive and not losing any data. Once I got it upgraded, I was able to just go online and use the Play Store to upgrade the... Alright, so I was able to upgrade the whole thing. It takes, like I said, a little bit of time to upgrade the software. Once you have Ventura running, all you have to do is go to the Play Store and you can upgrade your Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Main Stage, or whatever else you have. It'll be free, naturally, since you only have to pay for it once. And then all the upgrades are free, which I love about Logic Pro X, and that's why it's become my #1 for DAWs. My second one is Ableton Live because I really enjoy writing in Ableton. I get inspired more. Pro Tools, I started with Pro Tools with 5 point something, and then went to 6.1 and then 6.3 or something like that, and on up. 7, then 8, then 10, then 12. I mean, every time you have to pay. And now I have a perpetual license, and now they want $100 a year to keep your perpetual license active. So I'm gonna probably get out of Pro Tools totally. I'll just use Pro Tools Intro now. It's called. It's not Pro Tools First, Intro, if I have to or something. I don't know. I'm tired of paying for the same service over and over again. So it's not like that with Logic, right? And then the other one's Reason and FL Studios. I appreciate those programs. I still use also MuseScore when I want to write using notation. And other than that, I used to use Sibelius. I quit using that because It's so expensive. The Avid products, man, I'm moving away from Avid. And I'm just going with everything else. All right, so I hope you enjoyed it. Like, follow, whatever. Don't forget there's going to be 2 more videos after this. One is how to get the Apollo Twin X Mark II working on this system. And then a third video on how to do the same thing on an early 2013 MacBook Pro, which is my MacBook Pro, which I'll be upgrading also. All right, so I look forward to seeing you again. Don't forget, you can check in the bottom for my affiliate stores. If I've talked about it in this show or in any show, there's a good chance that those items are available in the affiliate store. You can just click and purchase there and make me some money, maybe save you some money. And then also, if I'll try to put any other links down there, okay? All right, so I said it. See you later.